As you all know, last week we announced our new partnership with FanDuel, the #1 sportsbook in all of the land. And why wouldn't we? We want all of our listeners to get rich. You go there, you use the code Subpar, you're going to make some money. Why wouldn't you use FanDuel? Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique, it's fun. I mean, dude, if you win money on this app, you get paid within 24 hours, unlike a lot of these books where it takes weeks sometimes to get your money out of there. Live betting is easy. If you're watching a game, you love what's going on, you want to fire on a team, you go in there and fire it. You can get that bet off quickly. And also, how about this? Right now, FanDuel is letting you place your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. All you got to do, place your first bet on anything, football, golf, baseball, basketball, whatever, and FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 back in site credit if you don't win. Who else is doing that? That's just free money. I need this on every bet going forward because I tend to make some not incredibly smart wagers, but if you have never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Go to FanDuel.com/subpar or download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. That's all you got to do to get started. Be sure to sign up with promo code SUBPAR so they know that we sent you, and you can get all the deals that come with that. 21 and up and present in New Jersey. New users only. $5 first deposit required and must wager in designated offer market. Max bet of $5. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See the full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? As a lot of us do, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now let's get back to the episode.
Hello world, welcome to another week of Golf Subpar. Colt Knost and Drew Stoltz. And Sleaze, another week, another victory for Golf Subpar. Our man, Abe Ancer, gets it done at the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational.
Yes, finally, Abe gets it done after 4 runner-ups in his career. We can finally stop talking about this guy's going to win. It's not going to be long before this guy is going to win. He's going to get the monkey off his back. He did it. He did it in a big golf tournament. And I mean, honestly, Colt, you were out there at the turn after the 10th hole where Bryson hit the 3-wood in the water. I was ready to maybe take a nap or go to bed. I was like, yo, this is going to be a snooze fest. Harris is going to have a 3-shot lead. He's just going to suffocate these guys, fairway, greens, 2-putt, get this thing done. And then fast forward about 8 minutes and all hell broke loose, and it didn't stop for the rest of the tournament. And you even heard in Abe's interview, like, he looked up and he was shocked that he was, tied for the lead at one point. So weird stuff happens, man. Abe's had played some good tournaments before, come up just short. And then this one, I mean, I think you could have told him at the end, hey, you're going to lose by 3. And he would have been like, yep, that sounds about right. And now he walks off as the champion.
Yeah, it's so cool to see. I mean, this guy, he's got all the game in the world. One of my most epic failure in sports predictions ever. When I played with him at Q School back in 2011, I thought this guy would be looking for a job pretty soon. Now he's one of the best players in the world, wins a WGC. So awesome to see. So happy for him. I was there to congratulate him afterwards. Just love it. And by the way, we recently partnered with FanDuel. We're 1 for 1, Sleeve. Last week in our episode, we talked about some guys we like. We mentioned Brooks Koepka. We mentioned Daniel Berger. But then we also slid in there at 41-1. We loved Abraham Ancer's odds of getting the job done at the WGC, and we did it. So we got to keep this thing rolling.
That's what we were saying. Boats, yachts on the reg, all that. PJs on the reg. There's it right there. 41-1 with Abe Ancer. And we got to talk a little bit about that closing stretch there. 2 things. 1, Cam Smith. Dude, 18, blows the driver right into the trees. I was fully expecting him to punch out, play it from the fairway. Here's one of the best wedge players on the PGA Tour, having one of the best putting weeks in the history of PGA Tour golf. I was like, it's a no-brainer. It looked like there was absolutely nothing on the broadcast. I couldn't tell. When he got over the ball, I was like, oh, my God, he's going up in the air. But, I mean, just watermelon-sized nuts on Cam Smith to even try that. Not saying it was the percentage play or the smart play, but, I mean, the marbles on Cam went up in my book a lot for a guy that I already like, just even attempting to pull that shot off. But the caddy might have been like, hey, dude, it looks like par might get us in a playoff. Abe's over there about 30 feet, probably not going to make it. Maybe we just pitch it out and you stuff a wedge like you've done, over and over throughout your career. But that was a shocker.
Yeah, there was a few on that back nine. I mean, Harris English going at the pin on 11, hitting in the water, making double. It was a very interesting back nine. I was with you. I kind of thought this thing was over. Then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I got to turn my car around. I was ready to get out of there. I had Hideki Matsuyama and Sam Burns group that finished an hour before the leaders did. I was getting ready to go to Nashville, and I'm like, oh boy, we might want to stop, pump the brakes, turn back around because I'm gonna have to work this playoff. But at the end of the day, Abe Ancer got it done. We're 1 for 1 with FanDuel. Coming up after our special guest today, we're going to make our picks once again and see if we can go 2 for 2 with FanDuel.
Yeah, some big weeks for some boys. The last event of the year to slide into that top 125, get your way into the FedEx Cup playoffs. There's some big names, and the guy I'm picking this week, a very big week for him as well. But it's a massive week for a lot of guys out there. Some guys are just jockeying for position for the FedEx Cup playoffs, and some guys are trying to play their way in there and avoid going back to Korn Ferry Finals, which is a scary place to be.
Yeah, like you said, there's a lot going on. It's the Wyndham Championship, otherwise known as the Webb Simpson Invitational, where he just cashes money around that joint like nobody else. But listen, there's the 125, trying to finish top 150 to have conditional status. Top 200 gets you into those Korn Ferry Tour playoffs, which is the only way to get yourself your PGA Tour card back. So very, very important. There's also the Comcast Business Top 10, which is a nice little bonus. If you finish 10th, it's $500,000. You win it, it's $2 million. So there's a lot to play for, and the field is pretty stacked because there's some big names right around that bubble to get into the FedEx Cup playoffs. So it's going to be exciting to watch. We're going to break it all down for you after our interview today. And our special guest this week is Brian Harman, the only guest I believe so far that I've been taller than. So that was a big bonus for me.
Yep.
But the Georgia Bulldog, man, I tell you what, I think people are going to see a different side of Brian Harman than he's ever shown before. We had so much fun with him.
This dude's awesome. If we could have had the mics on before the show started and after the show started, it would have been an even better episode. But this dude's, we'll get into a lot of it, but he's the bulldog of bulldogs. He went to Georgia. Every time he comes on the broadcast, they talk about this guy's a bulldog. He's just a fighter. He's a scrapper, all this stuff. But also a guy that's just been awesome at golf since he came out of the womb. He's one of the few guys, and we talk about this too, that junior golf, he was the guy. College golf, he was a stud. Came out, turned pro, got his card really quickly. Never finished outside the top 100 on the FedEx Cup. He's never sniffed losing his card or having to go back to Korn Ferry Tour Finals or things like that. That's not many guys in that same category that have been on the PGA Tour as long as Brian Harman.
Not at all. Hell of a player. I've known him for a very, very long time. Played on 2 Walker Cup teams. Incredible story. His hunting story, it's like, I don't know. It's like talking about caffeine with you. You just get so excited.
He lights up, dude. He is a hunter-gatherer. He does both. He hunts and then he gathers. And he's killed a lot of shit. We talked to him about it in his Instagram. It looks like National Geographic, like I said. But, dude, he loves some outdoors.
All right, Sleeves. Well, before we get to our man, Brian Harman, there's really only one option when it comes to golf shorts, and that's TravisMathew. It's the perfect short for you. Comes in 5 different colors. It breathes. It stretches. There's nothing better. The waistline moves up to 1 to 2 inches, which, as you know, I kind of like that a little bit.
Gives you a little flexibility depending on how hard you get after it the night before. Maybe you get a little hungry, wake up hungover. You can grab a big breakfast and don't got to worry about not being able to get your shorts back on. It's the only thing I've been wearing. It is the best. If you're a big fella, skinny fella like myself, no matter what, they got a size that fits you. It's the only thing I've been wearing, and it's breathable too. So you get out there, like you were in Memphis this past week, a little bit swampy, a little bit sweaty. This stuff breathes. You could go easy on the gooch sweat. Don't got to worry about the ring of fire too much when you're wearing TravisMathew.
Yeah, the Beck line by TravisMathew, the absolute best. Whether you're going out at night, whether you're playing golf, whether you're just hanging around the house, it's the perfect short. Nothing is better. It's the only available option, in my opinion. Why would you wear anything else, Liz?
That's the other thing. You go straight from the golf course to the bar, whatever. You don't got to slip anything off, change clothes. This thing goes from the course to the club to the bar, wherever you need to be. You only need one. You only need TravisMathew. One brand. You go straight from the track to wherever you want to be. Don't got to worry about changing.
Kind of like us. Perfect for all the right occasions.
A chameleon. We go anywhere.
Yep. Go check it out. The Beck short by TravisMathew. Visit TravisMathew.com today to order the perfect short and use the code SPP20 to get 20% off your first purchase. That's SPP20 at TravisMathew.com to order the Beck. All right, here he is, Brian Harman on Golf Subpar.
All right. We are out here at beautiful Windike Country Club, Memphis, Tennessee. We got a 2-time PGA Tour winner with us here today. I feel like this dude's been making tweets since he came out of the womb. Brian Harman, the pride of Savannah, Georgia. What's going on, baby?
What's up, man?
How are you?
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
B. Harm, very excited about this.
Me too.
Been waiting.
We go way back. You've been
Long
kicking
time.
ass for ages. Let's talk about it a little bit. When's the first time you picked up the game of golf? Obviously, you won the U.S. Junior 2003, but did you start at a crazy young age?
No, I was a ball player. Played baseball up until I was probably 15, 16 years old. But I grew up at a golf course, and I think I don't know exactly when I picked up a club for the first time, but I can remember 97 Phoenix Open. I was homesick from school. It's the Tiger raising the roof, hole in one. Steve Jones won that tournament.
Omar Uresti played with him. You don't remember that?
He's still playing.
So I watched that on TV, and I was just enthralled by it, and I loved it. And I lived about 1.5 miles from like this driving range, and I'd ride my bike. I started hitting balls, fell in love with it, and started getting golf magazines. Was flipping through. I'm like, man, they're playing like red tees and shooting, 40 and winning these 9-hole events. So I signed up for one. Won another one, and just kind of off the races after that.
Were you always left-handed? Or?
No, I'm right-handed.
Yeah.
Do everything right-handed. When I was a kid, I'd bat. Every time I pick up a bat, it's lefty. So my parents thought I was going to throw lefty. So give me a right-handed glove, throw me the ball, catch it, take the glove off, and throw it back to them.
Tough to be shortstop.
yeah, left-handed shortstop would be a nightmare. But I just kind of found it organically, which is nice. My parents don't play. Neither one were any good. My brother's starting to pick it up. He's starting to do all right at it, but just found it, loved it, and yeah, man, just got lucky.
6 years from starting to winning the junior am, which you won in 2003. I feel like we were just talking about this before we came on. I feel like you were one of the only guys. I was talking to Colt about this. It's like in junior golf you were winning everything. In college golf you were really, really good. Then you got out on tour quickly, and then you've been great. You've never not been. There are very few guys that are good like at every level going through. You're one of the only guys I can think of, really.
Yeah, man,
Charles Howell, maybe.
I love golf, and I'm not embarrassed that I love golf. Like, I love to hunt. I love to fish. But even do you wish you were hunting or fishing? I'm like, well, yeah, I love to hunt and fish, but I couldn't do it every day. But I could play golf every day if I had to. You know what I mean?
I feel like we both kind of realized at a young age as well we weren't going to be 6'5", and there wasn't a whole lot of options for us.
No. I can remember a dude hit a curveball I threw like 450 feet when we were like 14. I'm like, well, that's out. And then this dude was bringing heat one day, and I closed my eyes and connected. Dead center field, hits the middle of the fence. I'm like, I can't hit a home run. Can't run very fast. It's like,
guys are hitting bombs off of me.
Guys are hitting just
figure it out.
Absolute missiles off of me.
That's awesome. Was Georgia always the dream school?
Yeah, my granddad was a huge Georgia football fan. Went to Georgia. I don't know what year he graduated, but always loved Georgia and always wanted to go there. And it just happened to be a great golf program too.
Does any kid who's a stud junior golfer in Georgia, growing up in Georgia, not want to go to Georgia? I can't think of the last kid that maybe Georgia Tech, but I can't remember the last stud in Georgia that left.
If you're super good at math, maybe like Georgia Tech is your option. But no, I mean, we had guys right behind me: Russell, Harris, Hudson. Even though he's from Tallahassee, Florida, that's more Georgia than Florida.
Count it.
Yeah, I grew up a huge Georgia football fan, and that's what I wanted to do.
But you mentioned all these guys. I mean, you just mentioned Harris, Russell Henley, Hudson Swafford. I went to SMU, he went to TCU. The qualifying wasn't that hard. If you were a good player, you got on, you could have a bad round, I feel like, and then all of a sudden you miss a tournament.
Patrick Reed was our sixth man.
Well, there you go.
His freshman year.
He could have played for us. He could have made it.
Love you, Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so my freshman year it was Kevin Kisner, Brendan Todd, Chris Kirk, Richard. Did I say Richard Scott already?
Richard
Scott,
Remember him?
Canadian,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And myself. And then my senior year it was me, Adam Mitchell, who's my partner in the Walker Cup, and Harris, Hudson, and Russell.
All right.
Who was the
Play
kid?
Hard, guys.
Who was the
got
kid?
8 guys in there that have won multiple times on tour.
Yeah, and they're all mostly from Georgia. Mine is like Richard Scott, basically. But who is? Did you have a rival in high school, like another Georgia guy you wanted to beat more than anything, and all of a sudden you're on the same team with him in college?
Yeah. So Michael Green came into Georgia the same time that I did, and we were both really good junior players. And he's from Augusta, and I mean he beat me a bunch. He was a really really good junior player, and was good in college too. Just couldn't.
Wasn't really fair. He had his mom out there. She was distracting.
Yeah, that ain't a fair fight.
I forgot about it. He had a very pretty mom.
It's going to make Michael so mad.
What do you think about his
mom?
mom?
He's listening.
We'll send it to him. Don't worry.
What do you remember most?
He's got him a baby boy now, man. He's doing great. He's lawyering up in Atlanta, killing it.
I
hope he's listening. That makes me so happy you brought that up.
That ain't really fair.
You played on the Walker Cup team in 05 and 07, but one of the tournaments that I remember the most was the 2007 Porter Cup. You just beat the brakes off of everybody.
I was thinking. I didn't make it in 07. I made it in 09.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah. I played 05 and 09. But the best part about that 07 Porter Cup is that I was playing terrible. I'd been playing awful all summer. And then, I don't know if you remember, but Morrison comes up to me and goes, hey, me and you are wheeling against everybody in the field. It's like Colt and Dustin, Colt and Chris Kirk, Colt and Billy Herschel.
I think we lost.
Yeah. And I'm playing. I'm like, Mike, I don't have the money, man. He's like, oh, we're playing. It ended up being we're playing like $500 a hole or something. And I'm like, bro, I don't have it. Like, I don't have the.
Where we all getting that? Yeah.
Well, Mike, he's successful business guy out of Atlanta, Mid-Am, and he's like, I'll front you. And I played the best golf I ever played in my life.
2,200 and wins by like 11.
Yeah.
So we lost, basically. But to be fair, Dustin and I, at the Jones Cup earlier that year, just beat the brakes off everybody. So it was kind of we just handed the money back.
Yeah, just
boomerang money.
one hand feeds the other. Let's go to that 2005, though, Walker
yes.
Cup, because you were on the team. That was a squad. And your partner.
AK.
Yes, the legend. Tell us about playing with AK. Yeah.
AK is probably, I mean, if he's not the best, he's top 3, like, most talented, incredible golf. I mean, just top to bottom golfer ever. I mean, it's incredible what he could do. I mean, he could hit it as far as anyone when he wanted to. His short game was just out of this world, and his iron shots. I mean, he choked down this far on the iron and just mashed it. I mean, everyone was right out of the barrel. I mean, you play with him.
And he was doing things like even in college. I remember the first time I played, I was like, I got on the bus afterwards. I was like, there's not a person here that can hold a can. But he would like be fading shots into hook wins with irons from the fairway and doing stuff that tour pros were doing at age 19, 20,
He could do whatever he wanted to.
Yeah.
And I can remember. So we were partners. We're playing alternate shot. We get out there the first day, and he's like super nervous. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm gonna have to like calm this guy down because I'm like, Anthony, like, you are so much better than anyone here. Like, all you have to do is just keep breathing, and we're going to wax these guys.
Did like 6 and 4.
Killed them. And it's like, bro, just left foot, right foot, man. That's all I need. Just don't trip.
Yeah.
Like,
But I feel like
stay upright.
Dude, you're better.
The people nowadays, though, they don't realize that didn't get to see him play. Like, we saw him play. It's just like, everyone asks, who's the best player you ever played with? And I'm like, Anthony Kim. And they're like, what? And
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm not kidding you. Like, day in, day out, it was just a joke.
And he would do it. It was like he would show off sometimes. He would be playing so good and be like, "Oh, watch, I'm gonna make birdie like this time." It's just nuts.
Yeah, he'd hit like 7-iron from 180 to 13 feet and then like slam his club, and I'm like, oh my god, I would be overjoyed.
I watched him hole more iron shots. Like, I think I remember him holing more iron shots than I can remember me making like through my entire career.
Yeah,
we just watched him just.
But that was
that
shots. Walker Cup. I mean, it was a nail biter.
Yeah, we won by half a point.
Yeah.
Him and I actually we halved our first match. We were like 5 down through 7 holes or something. Came back and halved them, and then we won big the next day. And I mean, some guy had like a 30-footer to retain the cup from them and missed it.
So I mean, you played on 2 Walker Cups, which I mean, I don't know how you feel, but team golf's as cool as it comes. I mean,
it's great.
How important is it to you to one day in your career play a President's Cup or a Ryder Cup?
I mean, it's at the forefront for me. It's something I would be super proud of. I had a really good chance a few years ago and just couldn't find it towards the end of the year, which was kind of a bummer. But it would just be the coolest thing, I think.
Yeah,
Is that up there with like winning again or being? I mean, they kind of go hand in hand, but
I don't know. I mean, I think I would probably rather win another tournament.
It kind of one feeds the other, but
yeah. So you keep winning, you're going to be on plenty of teams.
Can you get AK back if you get on a team? Maybe say, only way I'll play is with Anthony.
I would take AK right now. I don't care if he hasn't touched the club in a year. I would pick him first as my partner in any team event.
Have you talked to him or any? Like, we've kind of indirectly a little bit, and we hear rumors. Have you talked to him?
I secondhand talked to him through Paul Vizanko, the guy that's with Scotty Cameron, because he's like still really good friends with him. So every time I see Paul, I'm like, hey, tell Anthony I'm thinking about him. Hope he's doing well. And he always says, oh, Anthony says hello. Thanks.
Yeah, he's like Sasquatch. You hear about sightings, but no one can really confirm it.
He showed up at like the Santa Monica Pier one night. It's like,
just random.
Just comes out of nowhere.
Like, what are you doing here, man?
Dude, he's unbelievable. Man, you keep hearing these rumblings that he might be making a comeback at one point. I hope he really does. But I got to ask you one more thing about the University of Georgia, because I think one of the big perks is you get to go play Augusta National.
Right.
First off, how often does that happen?
We would play once a year.
You get once a year?
Yeah, we'd play once a year, and one of the years we went like in December, and it was miserable. We had like 3 wood into one. It was terrible. Yeah. And then the last couple of years we did like 3 weeks before the Masters, and it's the coolest piece of property on earth. I mean, it's the coolest piece of property on earth. The history, the golf course, what it means, how it's set up, how it plays. It's the coolest place on earth.
I went for the first time this year, and I could not believe how big the place is.
Oh, it's huge. In the hills. the hills. I mean, you walk out of the back of the clubhouse, you're like, oh my God, I can see see 12. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
One of the other of all the things you accomplished in college, another I think thing that gets overlooked. You managed to go to Georgia, arguably the best party school in the United States, and also make good grades. That's not easy to do.
I dabbled in some mild alcoholism.
Mild is fine.
As evident in my, second team All-American, not an All-American, second or first team my last year. So I took a couple years off there to really sow my oats.
That's pretty good balance down there in Athens.
It was so bad, man, because there's like 100 bars downtown, and they would all stagger their drink nights. So I can remember Monday night was penny beer night at General's. Well, definitely going to do that. And then Tuesday night was somewhere else, and Wednesday night. And then we had a rule on the team, if one of us went out, even if we had qualified the next day, we all had to go.
Yeah, you can't.
That's got to be a playing field at least.
It was like a team building exercise.
Yeah.
God, there was a place on Tuesday night when we played the Corn Ferry event there. It was Tuesday night was the place to be, and I was.
Well, they all it's like a revolving door of failing bars in Athens, because it's you start and then everyone shows up, and then they hire the wrong people, they give all the drinks away for free, they go out of business. It's just and then someone else comes in, new name, new ownership, same cycle.
Same thing.
Get stung for fake IDs. Yeah, come on in. You draw your face on a napkin. Age 24.
Oh man, they would come in with those paddy wagons, and they would just pick people out of the crowd. You're coming with me. You're coming with me.
Penny beers. Imagine
Penny
that.
beers.
I mean, those are the days.
Penny beer night at Georgia, and then every night at this place called Bourbon Street from 10 to 11.
That's where I've been.
10 to 11, it was $1 well-drank liquor.
I mean, dude,
$1 a
that's
drink.
it.
I can remember my dad comes and visits me, and he goes and he's 15 of us, all buddies and stuff. He's all right, I got the first round. And they, they pour all the drinks, and they're like, I don't know, $7.50. He was like, what? So he orders a pitcher of vodka cranberry.
Perfect.
He said, just give me how much is a pitcher? They're like, $4.
Sure, whatever
You
you
show
want.
up with $20, you can get alcohol poisoning.
Yep.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk about when you turned pro, because you turned pro in 2010, and you didn't spend much time, as we call it, the Jicky Jacks. But you had a little bit of time out there.
I took
Brief.
my lumps. I went to Morocco, played two mini tour events.
But I feel like you realized pretty quickly, I got to get out of here.
Yeah. Q school was tough, man. I missed first stage twice. I knew if I could just ever get the ball rolling, I finally got through my third time. I just feel lucky that, you could still get a tour card through Q school. Because if I had to do another year of, I guess I'd have been fine doing the Nationwide or Web.com or Corn Ferry, whatever it was then. And, that would have been fine. But I like being able to get out on tour, cut my teeth, and then just get the ball rolling and be done with it. Not have to be relegated down and, spend a year and playing places that you're not going to be playing on tour. Because the golf's totally – I never spent any time out there, but the golf's totally different. These guys are shooting 28 under every week.
Yeah. I remember you showed up in Arizona for the Gateway Tour for one or two events.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is he doing? He's too good. This is bullshit. Stay where you are, and you're also too good to be here.
Yeah. I played the Gateway, and then I tried the Monday for the Phoenix Open, which is the hardest Monday of
Make a bogey, just
It's
go
a
home.
planet.
tour
Yeah.
event.
Yep.
The afternoon wave is a tour event.
Yep.
Winner.
Yeah, and it only was 3 spots or something like that. It's 150 guys for 3 spots.
Well,
Yeehaw.
Give us a little look in, because you're one of the many guys on tour that lives in Sea Island. Give us a little look at that, because we get asked about Whisperot, kind of the same, I guess, out west. But who are the guys you play with? What's the off weeks? Are you gambling? What are you guys doing?
Well, first off, if I lived anywhere else, I would live in Scottsdale and be a member at Whisperot.
We got you covered.
It is the coolest place, I think. But Sea Island's great, man. We don't do games like y'all do, which is something that I feel like I miss out on sometimes. And our golf ends up being really slow sometimes because we have a lot of resort golf. But Sea Island's been so great to me ever since I turned pro. The facilities are incredible. I got tons of places to work out, tons of places to play. We gamble, but it's not like y'all gamble. Y'all gamble.
I mean, you have
Y'all gamble.
Yeah, you got the Seaside course there. You've got Frederica, Ocean Forest. By the way, I've never played Ocean Forest. I heard it just kicks the shit out of you.
If the wind blows, it's impossible.
Sounds great. I don't want to play it.
Yeah, neat. I'll be
small greens, small fairways, rough.
Well, let's talk about that first PGA Tour win, though, because I'll never forget John Deere. That was your breakthrough moment. What was it like to finally realize, okay, I finally did it. I'm a winner on the PGA Tour?
Well, it was really, it was great because I get paired with Stricker the last day, and I just had this kind of moment of clarity the night before. Got a one-shot lead. Stricker's won it 6 times or whatever he has, and my wife, she was my fiance at the time. She'd flown in. just trying to black cat me like crazy,
Yeah.
So anyway, I remember talking to him like, hey, look, tomorrow you're going to be walking around and everybody's going to be rooting for Stricker. Like he's the guy here, and just don't let that get like under your skin, because I feel like if I see you and if I see like your frustration on you, it's going to like I'll feel that. And I eagled the second hole and made a really nice birdie on 9, and then I think I birdied 3 or 4 on the back 9, and I knew if I beat Stricker I was going to win the tournament.
Yeah.
And I just beat him. It's just one of those days where I was like, all right, today's my day. And then I did it, and I was like, all right. Like,
for those of us that don't know, like once you get that first win, is it kind of just like, all right, here we go. Like I belong here. Like things become almost easier for you out there?
It got harder. The 2 years after I won, I struggled. I didn't do great. It was like I'd put so much energy into winning that when it happened, it's like I almost took a mental break. And I kind of let my guard down a little bit. I think I thought I was better than I was, expected to like get into more tournaments more often. And it just didn't. I didn't work as hard as I should. And that's kind of what I'm going through now. I won again in 2017. And I tried so hard not to let that happen again. But it's just hard to win. I mean, it's really, really hard to win because you have to beat a PGA Tour player that's having the week of their life every week.
Yeah. Time out real quick. I've had to send him a car, so just don't want to.
Oh, okay.
It'll just take 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep rolling. It's fine. I just got to tell him what it is.
I'll just ask something.
God,
Straight.
those
Yeah, I saw
ladies.
something going on. I didn't know what it was. Porn addiction.
Yeah.
You porn. Dropped a
told
new
him.
video. Got to see it.
Sorry.
Was Athens the spot? Somebody told me about this. I think it was Athens. The penny beer night. Was the rule it's penny beers until someone uses the bathroom? And then once somebody uses it, that ends? Was that Athens?
I don't know.
I was going to ask you that, but we got going on something else. But I thought that was it. Someone told me like they have
I've
penny
heard
beers.
that about somewhere.
But as soon as the
God, that person's got to get
Oh,
punched.
just booed the whole
no,
way.
dude, there's like
Get outta here.
they'll put
It's
dudes in
so-
front of the door, and if
so
you try to go
comfortable.
in, they're like, over there. I'm like, you ain't getting in. I didn't know if that was it or not. All right, we were just talking about you
yeah.
winning.
So he said
Yeah,
how
yeah.
hard winning is. Yeah,
All right.
you mentioned how hard it is to win out there. You get your second win in 2017, and you take down arguably the best golfer on the planet right now, Dustin Johnson,
Right.
and Pat Perez, but whatever, he doesn't really matter. With an
Mostly
epic,
DJ.
yeah, mostly DJ with an epic putt on the 72nd hole.
Pat tells a great story that Pat's in the locker room and they're watching. And, I hit kind of a marginal chip, and both of them are kind of getting ready to go out to the range. And so I make the putt, and Dustin looks at Pat and is like, what happens now? And Pat's like, we go home. That's what happens now, Dustin.
Well,
we
DJ,
lost.
here's how it
We
works.
go home, Dustin. What do you think? What happened?
He actually shot one shot lower than we did, so we lost. This is the way it goes.
Pat tells the story so much better than I do. It is so funny.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do we do?
fucking go
Go
home.
home.
That's
Go home, Dustin.
That's a good DJ impression too. Well, you won it. So you won at John Deere. You won at Quail Hollow. Two very different types
Not
of
Quail
tracks.
Hollow.
What's up?
It was
Eagle
a one
Point.
and done Eagle
Yeah.
Point, but it was
Oh,
a,
okay.
But I mean, it was a 10 under.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
it was- yeah.
it was a low scoring.
10 under there,
high
22 at John Deere. What type of golf course do you think is like, if you had to pick like a style, I guess, like, is it short and narrow? Is it big and long? What?
Yeah, I've done good at both. I wanted at a birdie fest, and I wanted a place that played more like a U.S. Open. The U.S. Open that I played great at was a birdie fest.
But it was big and
It was a
long.
big-
Big,
I mean, it was
long,
wide
yeah,
open,
that's what I'm saying,
Aaron Hills.
yeah.
I tended, if a course is big and long, but that they give me a place in the front of the green to either get up and down or run a ball up, I'm fine. The places where I struggle, where did we used to play this tournament? Was it Tigers? The one
Avenel?
Tiger
Congressional?
Tiger won the old WGC.
Oh, Firestone.
Firestone.
Yeah.
Everything's a force carry.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, I'm having to like force carry 5 irons into the green. And it's all protected front with like bunkers you can't get up and down from. That's where I struggle.
That's fair.
Yeah, because you've done good at very different styles.
Yeah, I mean, I've done good
throughout.
at places. As long as I've got somewhere to play from short, then I can lean on my short game, and if it gets a little firmer, that I can keep up.
Yeah, well, you mentioned that U.S. Open at Aaron Hills where Brooks Koepka ended up winning, but you were the 54-hole leader.
Mm-hmm.
That's your only top 10 in a major so far. Do you think the U.S. Open is possibly the best major that suits you, or Augusta National? You finished tied for 12th at?
Yeah,
last time?
I've done like a T11 at the PGA. Was that T12 at Augusta? I mean, Augusta sets up good, especially this year because it was firm. It just depends on the golf course. Like I've got no chance at Torrey Pines in January, February. But like during the U.S. Open in June, it's a totally different outfit. Like I'm able to run it up, getting a bunch of roll off the tee, and it's all about course setup. Man.
Do you feel any different in majors than normal PGA Tour events? Maybe nerves wise.
I feel like that. I know Brooks caught all sorts of hell for what he said about majors are easier to win. I don't think they're easier to win, but I think they're easier to like have good finishes in.
Why? Because everyone else just psychs himself
I think
out, or what?
Everyone is so like hyper, just like everybody's on edge. And if you can just hang in there, it's like a 2 or 3 under par at a major just goes so far.
Well, you got three top 20s this year. I mean, your best year in major championships this year.
Sure.
What are you doing? Anything different, or is that just experience?
I just think that I've figured out like, all right, like if I miss a green, it's not a big deal, And I've been leaning on my short game more and more, working on my short game really hard. And everybody misses greens at majors. It's just hard to hit 14 greens a day at the British Open or the U.S. Open. You're going to have a couple days where you hit 7, 8, 9, 10 greens, and you got to figure out a way to shoot even 1 under, 2 under.
Do you do anything differently? Because we talked to other guys too, and it's across the board. Like some guys go into some different routine leading up to majors, trying to peak at the right time. Do you tweak your like practice schedule going into those or not?
I've tweaked my rest schedule this year to where I've tried not to play more than 2 weeks in a row, which I would play 7 or 8 in a row without any problem in years past. And I'm 34. I'm not 24 anymore, and I'm having to like really manage like my rest. Like when I'm home, I would usually practice every day and do all that. Now I'll force myself to take 3 or 4 days off, and then I'll start. And it seems like I'm starting to peak at the right time in the week, because a lot of times I would show up, and Tuesday, Wednesday I'm striping it. And then, like, by Saturday, I'm like, can't find it.
Gassed.
I feel like when you're 24, 25, you're so excited to be out there.
Yeah.
You just want to be there at all times. And then you realize later on in your career, like, okay, I don't need to be out there. I need to rest and be ready to go come Thursday.
Well, I end up, like, thinking about the golf swing and, like, where my game's at. I do, like, a lot more objective thinking, like, when I'm away from the game and I have time to, like, digest it all. Like, all right, why is this happening? Why is this shot happening? Why am I making bogey in this certain situation? And I can let it all just kind of come out and then try to make a plan. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this, and then commit to that plan, and it seems to be working a little better.
What are the things you work on your golf swing? Like if you got an off week, because your swing doesn't appear to have changed a whole lot from the time I knew you in junior golf till now. What do you work on?
Everything's so subtle, man. Like right now, I'm trying to release the club a little more consistently, and I do that by using the ground to push it out a little bit more. Like I tend to get underneath, and I kind of hang on my back arm and kind of flip it at the end. So I'm trying to have like a seamless pivot kind of.
But if you look at where the golf game is, it does work. I mean,
working,
you
dog.
Stripe it. But if you look at where the golf game's kind of gone with what Bryson's done, I mean, you're not the biggest guy in the world. You don't hit it short by any means. I mean, you get a lot out of it for being one of the littler guys. Does it frustrate you at all, like with what's going on, where it's just let's just see how freaking far we can hit it?
At times, yeah, but I've heard so many guys that hit it around the distance that I do complain and just whinge about how they have no chance. That I've just made a conscious decision about 2 years ago where I'm like, well, I refuse to believe that. Like, I refuse to believe that how far I hit it is limiting me. And, like, I don't care what the stats say. I refuse to give in to that.
So you've won 2 times. You've had your best year ever in majors. If you were going to win multiple more times and contend or win a major championship, you had to pick one aspect of your game right now, like this needs to get better, what would you say it is?
I just think that if I can the thing I've been struggling with, and I looked at, like, I've never been that great, like, approach to the green. Like, my stroke gain approach to the green's never been that great. And when I looked at it even further, it's like, wow, I'm not as good as I should be from 100 to 150 yards, which when you talk about distance, you talk about this other thing. It's like, well, it doesn't really matter how hard you swing it from 100 to 150. Like, I'm unlimited in my capacity to be good in that spot. So I've tried to focus on that. And then I've tried to, like, I've always had a great short game. I've always had good hands around the green, but I never really felt like a specialist around the greens. And I've tried to, like, be more of a really, like, elite short game guy.
Yeah,
like just double down on that skill.
You drive it so straight, and you do still get it out there plenty far. But
Yeah.
like 150 to 100, you're gonna have a million of those, and,
Exactly.
and you putt good too. Always have.
Let me ask you this: is there? I mean, you've been out here a very long time, been very successful. You've played with everyone. Is there still anyone you get paired with, and you're out there, and you're like, my God, that's impressive?
Yeah, Rory's super impressive. Just the way his ball comes off, and just the way that he swings at it, man. It's just like, I just think it's like poetry in motion.
Yeah.
It's
It
just
looks so
it's
free.
so smooth and so free, and when he's driving it good, man, it's just like, oh my God.
It looks just like nothing. I watch it on TV. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna do that tomorrow. That's how I'm gonna just be like, just like that.
No, you're
and then
not.
I get out there, I'm like, how? How does
Yeah.
it happen? Just shoots off of there.
I mean, yeah, I think he's just one of those guys. He probably can jump really high. He just got, I mean, just something in him that just,
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, you
it
got
works.
a little something.
he got some.
All right. Every broadcast you're ever on, they call you a bulldog. Not because you went to Georgia, but like, this guy's a bulldog. This guy's a bulldog. If you had to define what it means to be a bulldog, what would you say?
I just think like, I mean, I've never been a big dude, but I played football. I mean, I did all the sports, and like, I remember I had a coach tell me one time, he's like, look, man, like I can tell like that you enjoy hitting. Like I always liked hitting in football. It never bothered me. He goes, but you have to remember that you're never going to be able to control how big you are, but you can control how mean you are. And like, if you're the meanest guy out there, you'll be fine. And I just remember like in all the sports I played, I pitched, and I played defense in football. Like I always tried to be the meanest guy there.
They never use it for like a big guy either.
I mean,
like you could play the exact same way, hit the exact same shots as Jason Kokrak, and I don't think they'd be like, oh, Jason Kokrak's a bulldog. You know, just because it's always for like the smaller guys.
Yeah,
they use
Bulldogs
that
are
for.
little.
What's that?
Bulldogs are little.
Some of those things are big.
Yeah.
Uga is a big,
Yeah.
that's a big dog.
But they're just gnawing at your ankles down there.
I just think like
Yeah, just nipping
people always
at the
assume
heels.
like, oh, a big guy, he's never had to like be that mean. Like a little guy, like
You're like the nicest mean dude.
Should we get in a little E9?
Well, I want to talk a little hunting with you.
Please
because I know
do.
Okay,
another
okay.
thing that always gets brought up is
you're really gonna put a nickel in me now.
avid outdoorsman. Yeah, give me and I looked at your Instagram page. It looks like National Geographic. It just animals everywhere. What kind of stuff do you like hunting the most?
So I'm a bow hunter. Love to bow hunt. Last couple years, I've been in southern Colorado hunting these big elk. I've killed two
With
big
bow?
elk with my bow, both of them at 30 yards. And then we do the whole deal, man. We pack in. We're there for a week. I'm hunting one specific one. We hunt him for 3 or 4 days.
Stalk
kill
'em?
him, skin him, quarter him, carry him up the mountain. And I got 350 pounds of elk meat in my freezer.
Damn.
I mean, I love it, start to finish. I mean,
So that's like a real hunt.
oh yeah, no,
You
so-
stalk the deer?
Well, yeah. So the wind so we're hunting like 12,000 feet.
Oh.
And so you've got all of these different wind and these thermals and stuff, and so a lot of times we'll see them or they're bugling late in it's their mating season late
Yeah,
in
it's mating
September.
season.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they get
Undefeated.
after it, bud. You got to see that one time. You got to see that one time. It's special.
wild, bud.
Saw it in Estes.
So
once.
anyway, like you can't ever let them catch your wind. So we're always moving around, listening to them, and you finally you got to get them within 40 yards to kill them, right? And so it's all just this chess game. You get within a couple hundred yards, wind switches, got to back out, redo, and we don't shoot immature ones. We shoot these big, old, mature bulls, and they're smart, man. And it's hard to get around them. It's hard to hunt them. And like I said, we're at 12,000 feet, so it's a grind, man. We're doing like 6 miles a hunt. We start at daylight, hunt 4 or 5 hours, take a lunch break, go back out. But usually, if you put one to bed, like if we hunt one in the afternoon, find one we want, you put him to bed, he's going to be close to there the next morning. So when I say we're hunting for 3 days. Like I'm on that bull
so
for
cool.
2
It's
or
like
3 days.
it's like going
It's
out
like
to the
chess
bars,
match,
dude.
man.
It's a chess game. You gotta hunt them down a bit.
gotta
and
hope
then
the
you
same girl
drag
goes
them
2 or
out.
3 nights in a row.
Drag them
Same
out.
girl.
Kidding, you don't drag them out. Don't say that.
Half of our subscribers are like PETA people now. We just lost
We're
half.
99%
they're gone.
male. I think
But,
we'll be okay.
So when I first started dating my wife, she was living in San Diego, and I go out there and I'm visiting with her, and all her friends are, they're West Coast,
Yeah.
and God bless them. But I was so nervous to talk to them because they're like, oh, like you're from Georgia. What do you drive a big truck?
Yep.
You listen to country music. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
do you like to hunt? I'm like, yeah, dude.
So she's been talking about me a lot.
I love it. I said, yeah, I love it. And I thought they were going to be like, oh, you monster. They're like, oh, my gosh, that's so cool. You know where all your meat comes from. I'm like, well, okay, thanks. Thanks for giving me that at least. But,
That's like a real hunt, though. You're going out. It's not like you drive up in a truck and shoot something. What do you so you pack this big ass
It's
elk
hard,
or
man.
deer
It's the
out of
hardest
there?
thing
What
I've
do you do
ever
with the
done.
meat? You taking that home? Or?
So they've got processors out there. So we hang it in these big coolers. and then we take it to the processor and they cut it all up just like a cow and ship it to the house.
What's your favorite thing to eat that you've killed?
An elk tenderloin is about as good as it gets. Cooking on the grill, just like
people say that stuff's really good.
Dude, and the only difference between wild meat and like a farm raised cow is there's no fat. So like these pioneers that were heading west, they were always craving fat because even though they were eating all this wild game, they couldn't get enough fat. So you could actually have stores and stores of wild meat, but you'll die of starvation.
Damn.
No fat in it.
So
you got to cook it with fat. You got to cook it with butter.
You thought you learned a lot from Tim Tucker.
I'm learning some shit right now, dude. I just got to learn how to shoot a bow or a gun.
But no, I do it at home. I kill whitetails. I kill turkeys at home, ducks. We got a bunch of pigs we kill. I kill it and I eat it.
You got some big turkeys on Instagram.
We kill pretty turkeys.
What's your most prized hunt that you got that you ended up getting? I mean, the toughest one.
Yeah, 2 years ago, just shooting. I shot this big elk, man. We hunted him for a long time, and the guy that's been taking me, he's right here on my shoulder hunting with me, and we watched him come down the mountain bugling. He's having to turn his antlers are so big, he's having to turn his head sideways to get in between these areas, and he steps right down, just smoking.
Finally, he's like, that little bastard got me finally.
What's your favorite, Colt, of all your hunting?
Nothing.
Yeah,
no.
My Postmate. I had to hunt down my Postmates the other day. Went to the wrong house.
Man, we eat wild meat at my house probably 3 or 4 nights a week.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
fish,
that's real deal.
Fish I've caught, turkeys. I mean, you got to do something a little different with all of them, and but it's all good for you, man. You think about these days, man, some of this farming stuff, and you're just man, it's just gross.
You are authentic outdoorsman. Authentic, the real deal. It's not just
start to finish, man. Last week I'm home. I'm on my tractor. I'm filling up feeders for the deer. We're starting to put out cameras. We're starting to figure out what we got. I love doing all those things. I love to plant. I love mowing. I love getting land ready for us to hunt it. I love scouting. I mean, I love all of it.
Varner's got a big mower. If you ever need the lawn, if you need the lawn mower, he can cruise on it. I don't know, lawn mower, whatever. Yeah, big old mower.
All right, let's get to this emergency 9. Okay, we asked this to everybody. I know you listened to this, but we've changed it recently. You can trade lives with anyone for one day, dead or alive. Who's it going to be?
Jeff Knox.
Wow. Good answer. For those of you who don't know, Jeff Knox, Augusta National.
Yeah, he lives a professional life of leisure. I watch him. He's like the amateur version of Fred Couples. He's just the coolest dude, and he just shows up all over. There's 8 of them.
That's a good analogy.
He plays every week.
Yeah, beats dudes.
Does whatever he wants. He was telling me a story the other day about a rental car, and he was like, "Oh, someone needed to turn a rental car." He goes, "Oh, just leave it, wherever they were." They're like, "No, you can't do that." He goes, "That's what I do."
No, dude, they'll find it.
He's like, "It's their car. If they want it, they better come get it."
They'll get it. That's a good point. They'll get it. We used to ask who would play you in a movie, and I think yours would be the easiest ever. You know it probably. You've had to have heard it a million times, I assume.
Go for it.
Wahlberg?
Yeah. Back when I had lettuce.
Yeah,
sure.
when you had some flow.
Yeah.
When you had some flow.
Yeah.
All right, next one from me. How long did it take you to be able to tell the difference between Brendan Todd and Chris Kirk?
Very, very short time. It makes me so happy, though, that they get confused for each other. The other one is Hudson and Harris.
Yes, dude.
They always get confused for each other. I'm like, how? I don't know. I don't understand how you could confuse them.
Oh, I do it all the time. I see them
I've
on
been
TV.
around them so much.
Yeah, I've known them since I was 12.
Dude, they're identical. I belong to It's either Chris Kirk or Brendan Todd just made tweet. I don't know which one.
The one year at the Azalea, it was Halloween, and Webb and Kirk switched.
And they thought Kirk won, but Webb won wearing all Georgia stuff in a Georgia bag.
Yeah. I could distinguish him, but the other two, those are a little tough. Yeah, and you got Hudson and Harris, too. It's similar names, too. Tricky.
All right, next one. I know you're a big hunter, but I heard recently you started playing some Madden NFL football.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it's a big deal now on ESPN. They interview all the players, and they strive to be 99. They always complain about their grade. I want to know what you would give yourself as a rating on Madden.
As a player?
As a player.
Mid to high 60s, probably.
Okay. Harris English said 51.
No.
He said he owns you.
You can't even catch a run at 51.
So to my defense, we used to play on an Xbox in college, and he was mine. Okay. Harris English was mine on that game whenever I wanted him. And now, since then, I've had children and I've had a family, and he's just put in hours after hours on a different console with a different game. We used to play college, NCAA, so he's Madden, different console, and he's he's married with no kids. He's got all this time on his hands. So he's got just hundreds of hours of experience.
He
That's
said-
not a fair fight.
He said Harman's over there doing all these hot routes and audibles and checkdowns.
yeah, I'm more skilled, less experienced.
Okay. All right. All right.
I
yeah,
have
that's
more-
not fair when you switch consoles. It's
It's
a whole
not.
different ball game.
Yeah.
All the buttons. Yeah.
If someone knows how to audible and someone knows like how to like switch around defenses for like they're the better player.
Yeah.
Like my ceiling is higher than Harris.
You're like Peyton Manning.
But his experience,
The ceiling's
he's been
the roof.
doing it for
The
years.
ceiling is the roof. He's like Jamarcus Russell. A lot of talent, just can't figure it out. All right, next one. This is a good one. All right, you led the UGA team in GPA for 3 years. Hey, right there.
Thanks, man.
If you come into a final exam and you hadn't studied a lick, zero studying, you had to sit next to somebody on your team and copy off their Scantron.
Michael Green.
All right, who do you want the least though?
Hudson Swafford.
There you go.
Poor Hud.
Getting dragged.
Brian, why are you so mean to me? God, I love it.
Hud, you had no faith in Hud. Get you through that.
Hudson, well, if it was accounting class, it would be Harris English for sure. Accounting class changed Harris's career path, or at least his school career path.
Wasn't in his future.
That one ruined him.
All right, next one. For the people out there that don't know, if they haven't seen your putter, it's bigger than my computer right here. So I want to know, have you ever had any cattle ranchers reach out to you and offer you top dollar for your putter to brand
No,
their
but if
cattle
anyone
with?
needs a shower head changed, I got the tool.
God
for it.
almighty, that thing, I mean, the head on that putter is this big.
You know
I
what
just
it-
understand how you go around the putting green. There's all these putters, and you're like, that's the one.
Well, they always, most putters these days are made out of aluminum, but that one's actually made out of money.
It's a one of one, dude.
You're being so serious for a second.
I know.
I'm listening.
That one's
Colt was about to
actually
be like, really? Damn.
minted perfect money is what it's made out of.
Perfect.
Yeah. That
Don't
thing's
let that
been
thing out of your
around.
sight.
That thing's been around. All right, my last two are outdoors related. All right, like I said, a lot of Georgia guys out there that claim to be big outdoorsmen, okay? Hunting, fishing, all that stuff. If all of the Georgia Tour players were trapped in the wilderness with only a knife, who would survive the longest?
Okay, me excluded.
You're out.
I'm out.
I assume you'd pick yourself. So the next best, I guess you could just throw tour players in, like, cause you got like.
No, I'm gonna say. You know what? I'm gonna go back. I think. I think Hudson Swafford probably lasts the longest.
Oh, there you go. He's redeeming himself.
Yeah.
He'd fail accounting, but
Book smart, no good. With a knife, he's a scary man with a knife.
okay, so he's authentic.
Yeah.
I just need to know who's authentic
he's
out there. I
Hud's my
see the
hunting buddy.
camo. I
We-
want to
we-
know.
We hunt together all the time.
Okay, Hud. Shout out Hud. He's
Yeah.
alive.
He's
All right.
alive.
He's eating.
He's back in.
Number 7, you played on 05 Walker Cup team, 09. I'm going to break these down real quick. 05, you got yourself, Matt Every, Jeff Overton, Anthony Kim, J.B. Holmes, Michael Putnam, Lee Williams, Kyle Reifers. 2009, Bud Cauley, Ricky Fowler, Morgan Hoffman, your guy Adam Mitchell, Cameron Tringali, Peter Uihlein, and Drew Weaver. We're going to have a beer Olympics between the two teams.
Oh.
Oh wait.
Who wins?
I think that first squad.
Yeah, that's a
Dude,
landslide.
huge favorites.
Absolute landslide.
That's a landslide.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure we agreed on that.
Yeah. Because I think Ricky drinks some beer now, but he didn't then.
Uh-huh.
Morgan Hoffman doesn't drink a lot. Cameron Tringali didn't drink a lot. Drew would have a beer with you.
There's
Yeah,
some dudes
Adam
on
Mitchell
05.
I don't think was Brendan Gilo on that
Yeah,
team?
he was on that team.
I don't think he drank. Yeah, but then you had Anthony.
Yeah, yeah, that's all you need.
We win.
Yeah, we win. Perfect.
It's a wrap.
We win.
I love it. Okay, we all agree on that one.
It's a wrap. All right. Your life is on the line. You got to put an apple on your head, William Tell style, and one guy on the PGA Tour, anyone, has to shoot it off your head with a bow. Who you want?
If my man Kevin Kisner has been practicing, I'm giving the bow to Kevin.
Who's the least of the guys that claim
Every other player on the PGA Tour.
to be outdoorsman? Who would you think you would die the most from?
Who do I think I would die the most from?
Is
I'm
Keith
sure,
Mitchell outdoorsman?
No, sir.
Okay, good.
No, sir. I'm pretty sure after Hudson hears this, he would probably just shoot me right in the chest
Whoops.
just to spite me.
Missed it.
Whoops, missed the apple, but no more Harmons. Everybody's better off.
Tough break, bitch.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, last one. Got to go back to your college days here. You and the Bulldogs traveling around in the team van. You come across a yellow Xterra.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Wow. Yep. Yeah. So do you want the story?
That's why we
okay.
asked it. If
No,
you
let's
wanna
end
tell
it right there.
So this was my very first college tournament ever. We're at the preview and we're in Bend, Oregon, and we've got two Suburbans or whatever. So in the front car you've got Ryan Hybl, Kevin Kisner, and one of Chris Kirk, Richard Scott, Brendan Todd, and Michael Green, and whoever is in the second car that Hacker's driving. Hybl, and there's no one for miles. We're in Bend, Oregon. There's not a human within 100 miles of us, okay? Hacker pulls out, and we pull out right behind him. And little did we know, we pulled out right in front of this yellow Xterra. Cut him off bad. And Hybl had to go because we don't know where we're going, right? Or Hacker pulls out. Anyway, we cut this guy off, and this guy slows down. He's flipping everybody off. He's just making, a fool out of himself. So anyway, he speeds off, never to be seen again. And so we go like a mile down the road, and then Hybl's like, I need like chapstick or something. So he pulls into this gas station. Well, the yellow Xterra is sitting right there. So now it looks like that there's 2 carloads of me excluded, decent size. I mean, Ryan Hybl's a football player.
Yeah, he's a big man.
So as soon as we pull into the parking lot, I'm not even going to call him a person because he was built like a brick shit house. This guy jumps out with his neck. This neck, like when a guy's so big, his neck looks. It makes his face look skinny. His neck was twice the size of his head. He jumps out. Hybl gets out of the car, and he's this far from Hybl, and Hybl's like visibly like
this is a problem.
Shook.
Yeah. Kiz gets out. He runs over to Kiz, gets in his face, and I'm looking at this. I get out of the car, and I'm 20 feet away, and I'm like, oh my God, like this guy's seen 6 guys get out of this car, and he is not. He does not care. Does not care how many of us are there. He's gonna beat us all to shit, right? So I'm like, I see this all happening, and I just like chuckled because I was like, I can't believe this is happening.
Someone's gonna get
and
whooped.
he snaps his head and looks at me and goes, "What are you laughing at, cockbite?" Oh my God!
Nothing, sir. Nothing, sir.
Oh my God!
We're so sorry.
That is so great.
Kill him.
I texted 3 different players on your team, and they all texted me to tell you that story.
Tell the cockbite story.
So cooler heads prevail, but he's still so mad. And like I have to go inside, and we're inside in line together, and someone calls him Terry. So the whole week it's like, oh, Terry's up on top of that hill, carrying the lumberjack with his teeth.
Old sea
That is
bass.
so good. What are you
But
looking
he
at?
was this guy comes out of his log cabin, in his flannel. He's 8 feet wide, chops his wood for the day.
That is.
I wouldn't have him pegged as a yellow Xterra guy.
I know.
That must have been his girl's car.
No one makes fun of that guy.
Don't mess with Terry.
Well, Brian Harman, man.
He's a huge UFC fan. I am sure.
Guaranteed.
Dude, this has been so much fun
Yeah,
for us.
thank you,
so
bro.
much
We
for joining
appreciate
us.
you.
You got it.
This was great.
All right, well, that was our man Brian Harman joining us on Golf Subpar. We were out at Windham Country Club. By the way, special thanks to them for letting us come out there and film all these episodes. But Brian Harman, what an awesome dude. Just, like you said, we call him a little bulldog. I mean, he did go to Georgia, but he's that guy. He's just gnawing at your feet. Just he's not scared of the moment. And one of the few guys that really can tell us something about Anthony Kim.
Yeah, I felt like we were going to go down an Anthony Kim rabbit hole for about 30 minutes. But, yeah, he's one of the few guys that kind of keeps tabs with him, played multiple matches with him at the Walker Cup down there. And, I mean, we got to find him. We've tried. A bunch of people have tried. Hopefully we can get him at some point. But, dude, Harman, I think, is a guy. You don't see him interviewed a ton on the PGA Tour. He hangs around. He's kind of an under-the-radar guy. But, man, he would be a fun guy to grab a beer with, hang out afterwards. He is an awesome guy. And I love the comment when he's like, you're talking about his putter. He's like, yeah, that thing's made him money. And he ain't joking. That thing's been around a long time, bro, and it has made him a shit pot of money. He gets it done with that club every single year. And, like, Colt, like, you played junior golf with him. I did too, things like that. I haven't noticed much in his golf game change in the last, what do you want to call it, 15 years? Swing looks the same. Putter looks the same. I mean, all of it. And it's just, he's one of the guys that doesn't tinker a whole lot. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's hard to do.
Yeah, not the flashiest guy. I mean, he's 5'7", doesn't smash it, but for a little guy, he hits it a lot longer than I think you would first, your first impression would be. He can absolutely move it out there. Had a hell of a career on the PGA Tour. 2 wins, wins the John Deere, wins the Wells Fargo, beating Dustin Johnson and Pat Perez with the 30-footer on the last to get a job done. And I thought that story was incredible. When Dustin's like, what do we do now? Pat, well, we go home, Dustin. We
you
lost.
pack your shit and you go home. That's called losing. That's called losing by one. I mean, what a couple of dudes to make that putt against, too, by the way. Like, Pat, you can hold that over his head for forever. He can handle it, and then DJ, too. That's a big moment. 2 dubs, and I feel like he's just going to be around for a while. He's not a guy, I feel like, with age. He's still young, too, by the way, but he doesn't rely on distance or power or any of that. He could play that golf game the way that style of golf he plays right now for a lot of years to come.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. He's one of those guys going to try to fight for one of those last spots on the Ryder Cup team. I know that's very, very important to him to make one of these team events. He loves that atmosphere. I mean, he played 2 Walker Cups. Probably should have played 3, if we're going to be totally honest. Should have made that 2007 squad. But still, no matter what happens, he's had a hell of a career. It's been really, really fun to watch. And that poor elk that he stalked for 2 or 3 days. I mean, can you imagine? Like, you go up to Elk Heaven and how'd you go? Well, I got shot by the little 5'7" Brian Harman.
There's some little shit behind a tree over there that got me. And he showed me the pictures afterwards of this like big prize one he got or whatever. And he's like lugging off its whole head on a backpack. And it's no bullshit. It's almost as big as Harman is. Like, I was like, how'd you get that out of there? But I mean, I don't know much about hunting. I'm not a big hunter or whatever, but at least it's not like kill for sport, go out there, leave it, or do whatever. Like, he uses all of it, and it sounds like he puts it to good use. But the dude loves it. He's not like a fake outdoorsman by any means. He's locked and loaded at all times.
Yeah, I would have to believe Brian Harman gained quite a few more fans after this interview with us here on Golf Subpar. All right, Sleaze, here we go. FanDuel, #1 sports book. Can't find any better place than
Ever.
that. And we start last week. We're 1 for 1. We touted Abe Answer 41 to 1 to win. I saw FanDuel tweeted out that some guy bet $4,000 on Abe Answer to win. Obviously, he listened to Golf Subpar. There's no way he was going to bet it without us.
Yeah, no question. That's the only way to get your picks, dude.
All right, well, let's get to it. We got the Wyndham Championship, the final regular season event before the FedEx Cup playoffs. Pretty interesting field. Got obviously Webb Simpson's there. He wins, it seems like, every year, or at least competes for it every single year. But guys like Ricky Fowler, Adam Scott trying to get in there and get to the FedEx Cup playoffs. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Sedgefield, an old school golf course, not very long, crazy slopey greens, normally some pretty deep Bermuda rough, and the guys can go low here. So let's get to it. Webb Simpson is your favorite at 12 to 1. Hideki Matsuyama is just going to keep on playing, I guess, continue this roll. He's going off at 15 to 1. And Louis Oosthuizen is going off at 20 to 1. Those are your top 3 favorites. Man, Sleaze, this is a tough one. I mean, I think obviously Webb Simpson is probably a very, very, very good pick considering his track record around here. But there's some guys that with some odds that I find very, very interesting. Like JT Poston. Here's a guy went bogey free for the entire tournament when he won in 2019. He's going off at 70 to 1. A guy that I'm looking at, 2 guys actually that I really like to play very similar games in my opinion. Joel Damon coming off a tie for 7th at the Barracuda, is going off at 90 to 1. And Ches Reavie, who has found some recent form as of late, is also 90 to 1. I love that value right there.
Chaz, not the longest guy in the world, but going to hit it dead straight and iron it really well. It's a great golf course for him. And I'll give you another guy that I like strictly based on his iron play, one of the best in terms of strokes gained approach in the last, basically since we came back from COVID. But Russell Henley is going off at 32 to 1. He seems to play great down there in the southeast. He's comfortable on those Bermuda greens. When he gets that putter going, he can fill it up. But tee to green, especially from the fairways, if he puts it in the fairways, he irons it awesome. So 32 to 1, I think, is a real good value on Russell Henley, too.
All right. Well, the time has come. Who are you going to go with, though?
All right. You want me to launch the pick right now? Team Sleaze, final regular season event of the year. We're going 50 to 1 range here, Colt. I'm saving DJ and Rory for the 2 playoff events, but I'm going a guy who needs a week, bro. Our guy, Ricky Fowler, going at 50 to 1. So, I mean, he's shown a little bit of form recently. There's a top 10 at the PGA, which was a big week for him. Finished 11th at the Memorial. Had a good final round over there at the Open Championship. But, Colt, we were talking about this before, man. Like, I'm shocked. He's now 130th in the FedEx Cup standings. I'm shocked that he elected not to play Barracuda last week. It's like, I know you don't typically play that event. I know you're a massive guy and all that. It's a secondary event, maybe a little blow to the ego. But first things first, let's make sure we finish top 125. We can regroup a little later in the year. And he bypassed that, and now he's playing this week. And now he needs a week. I think he dropped 5 spots this past week. So he's got to go around there and play some golf, dude. And it's be shocking to see Ricky Fowler, even after all of this, to not make his way into the FedEx Cup playoffs.
I totally agree with you. I was shocked he didn't tee it up last week. His caddy, Joe Scovern, was actually filling in for Patrick Cantlay last week, but I'm going to go with a little bit of a surprise. I've already talked about him. I'm going to go with some value here. And I mean, first off, it's a lot of value, 90-1. But this guy's starting to show some form. He's really, really getting back to the consistent Chez Reavie we know. In Sedgefield, I mean, some of the narrowest fairways on the PGA Tour. He's one of the best iron players on the planet. If the putter warms up, Chez Reavie's my guy this week.
Yeah, we might
going a little bit of a dark horse, but I like Chez a lot around Sedgefield Country Club.
Yeah, getting him at 90-1. I mean, here's the guy. He could go off and hole 3 irons next week. When he gets going and he starts feeling it, I mean, nobody hits more lasers than Chez Reavie, and it's been a slow year for him. But like you said, some recent form. So Chester, also great course setup for him. I ain't never mad at Chez, especially when you get a golf course like this. So yeah, not a bad pick.
All right, well, here we go. Can't wait. See if we can make it 2 for 2 here with FanDuel. Sleaze, that's going to do it for us this week. Next week, another great episode. The queen of CBS, as you call her, the face. Jim Nance is the voice of CBS. She's the face of CBS. Amanda Balionis joins us, and you're not going to want to miss it. She's a dog lover, like many of us in the world, and she breaks down which dogs we would be. It's going to be fantastic.
A little bit of a dispute over what she picked for me, but I honestly, after thinking about it, I was like, all right, I'll take it. I'll take it.
All right. Well, thank you to everybody for listening. Hope everyone has a great week, and we'll talk to you on next week's Golf Subpar.